You know, people often wonder about, well, how am I supposed to live? What do I have to do differently? Uh, and people like to live in the ways of the world. They might deny it, but they usually do live in the ways of the world. If we think about the Bible as a whole, take from Genesis through Revelation. If you look at it, by Genesis 3, the end of Genesis 3, we're looking at the corruption of this world. And the whole of the Bible, every single book of the Bible, talks about living in this corrupt ways of the world all the way up through Revelation. They're all speaking to us living in this corrupt world. And what we have to remember is that Jesus and the prophets and a lot of people through the Bible have been trying to lead us out of this corrupt world into the heavenly will of God. And if we look like at Deuteronomy 6:5, it says, we're to love the Lord our God with all our heart, with all our soul, with all of our strength, all of our spirit, every part of our body, every aspect, all our wealth, everything we have. There's no excuse for any part of our being and what we have not to love God. And we have to love God above the corrupt ways of this world. It's just that simple. Now try to do it, and that's a lot harder. But the message is simple. So what do you have to do? You have to love God. Now, if you love God, you have to love the whole of his creation, right? Because he lovingly created it. And that includes every other human being, every animal, everything that's in the environment, and really the whole of the universe. So we have to love everything. There's no excuse not to love and to care for and to have empathy for. So we have to look at things like this, and that leads us in the direction of what our ministry is, about everything that we do, and it points us in the direction of God's perfect will. Well, what's his perfect will? He tells us in the new heaven and new earth, there'll be no pain, no suffering, no death. And we see that in Revelation, we see that in Isaiah. Because it talks to us about what God desires for our lives. Well, if we have to be perfect, if we have to live in a world where there's no pain, suffering, or death, we can't contribute to it. We can't consume it. Yeah, the whole meat and dairy industry. And who profits from it? Big Pharma. Who suffers for it? We do. Because we're corrupting our bodies, which were made to be perfect, like this world is corrupt. So what do? We live in the heavenly will of God. And that's why we're vegan. Amen.